Thank you, Mr. Secretary General, UNICEF Executive Director, and all the excellencies and distinguished guests from across the world. My name is Kim Namjoon, also known as RM, the leader of the group BTS. It is an incredible honor to be invited to an occasion with such significance for today's young generation. Last November, BTS launched the Love Myself campaign with UNICEF, building on our belief that true love first begins with loving myself. We've been partnering with UNICEF's End Violence program to protect children and young people all over the world from violence. And our fans have become a major part of this campaign with their action and with their enthusiasm. We truly have the best fans in the world. And I'd like to begin by talking about myself. I was born in Ilsan, a city near Seoul, South Korea. It is a really beautiful place with a lake, hills, and even an annual flower festival. I spent a very happy childhood there, and I was just an ordinary boy. I used to look up at the night sky and wonder, and I used to dream the dreams of a boy. I used to imagine that I was a superhero who could save the world. And in an intro to one of our early albums, there's a line that says, "My heart stopped when I was maybe 9 or 10. Looking back, I think that's when I began to worry about what other people thought of me and starting seeing myself through their eyes. I stopped looking up at the night skies, the stars. I stopped daydreaming. Instead, I just tried to jam myself into the malls that other people made. Soon, I began to shut out my own voice and started to listen to the voices of others. No one called out my name, and neither did I. My heart stopped and my eyes closed shut. So, like this, we all lost our names. We became like ghosts. But I had one sanctuary, and that was music. There was a small voice inside of me that said, "Wake up, man, and listen to yourself." But it took me quite a long time to hear music calling my real name. Even after making the decision to join BTS, there were a lot of hurdles. Some people might not believe, but most people thought we were hopeless. And sometimes I just wanted to quit. But I think I was very lucky that I didn't give it all up. And I'm sure that I and we will keep stumbling and falling like this. BTS has become artists performing in those huge stadiums and selling millions of albums right now, but I am still an ordinary 24-year-old guy. If there's anything that I've achieved, it was only possible that I have my other BTS members right by my side, and because of the love and the support that our ARMY fans all over the world made for us. And maybe I made a mistake yesterday, but yesterday's me is still me. Today, I am who I am with all of my faults and my mistakes. Tomorrow, I might be a tiny bit wiser, and that'd be me too. These faults and mistakes are what I am, making up the brightest stars in the constellation of my life. I have come to love myself for who I am, for who I was, and for who I hope to become. I like to say the one last thing. After releasing our Love Yourself albums and launching the Love Myself campaign, we started to hear remarkable stories from our fans all over the world, how our message helped them overcome their hardships in life and start loving themselves. Those stories constantly remind us of our responsibility. So, let's take all one more step. We have learned to love ourselves. So now I urge you to speak yourself. I'd like to ask all of you, what is your name? What excites you and makes your heart beat? Tell me your story. I want to hear your voice. I want to hear your conviction. No matter who you are, where you're from, your skin color, your gender identity, just speak yourself. Find your name and find your voice by speaking yourself. I'm Kim Namjoon and also RM of BTS. I'm an idol and I'm an artist from a small town in Korea. Like most people, I've made many and plenty mistakes in my life. I have many faults and I have many more fears, but I'm gonna embrace myself as hard as I can. And I'm starting to love myself gradually, just little by little. What is your name? Speak yourself. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. With so many young fans around the world, it was a pleasure having BTS with us, and I'm thankful that you use your platform and creativity to reach young audiences with positive messages about what it means to be a young person in the world today.
What an outstanding presentation from BTS. And now it's time for you all delegates to have your own presentation. So welcome to the South Korea Y SDGs Leaders Week 2021 presentation session. Yay. All right, so without losing any time, first to start, I'm gonna re-mention about the rules of the presentation. So the presentation should be delivered in English, and you guys don't need to prepare the presentation slides. And then each delegate will only have 1 minute maximum to present. And then the presentation must contain and or related to, first is you have to mention your name and country, or you can call it also like short introduction in Korean. And your presentation has to be linked with one of the SDGs goals. You have to choose one out of 17 SDGs goals, and then you have to present your idea to make the sustainability education in 5.0 era. And then what is volunteering to you, also your commitment and initiation to do action related to SDGs value. And also this presentation will be evaluated, and 3 best presenters will be given a certificate as the top 3 best speakers, and then all the presenters will be given score that could be seen at the academic transcript that will be given soon as the public speaking score. All right, so yeah, so the presenter will be told. Yes?
Do we all get a certificate even if we don't get a best presentation? Like,
yes, you will.
Okay, thanks.
All right. Thank you. All right, so I think without further ado, we can just call first presenter, Putri Safira Aula Prasetya.
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, you will have 1 minute starting from now.
네, 안녕하세요. 저희 이름은 부트입니다. 저는 인도네시아 사람입니다. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Putri Safira Aula and I'm from Indonesia. One of the SDGs point that I stand is a point for quality education. According to the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, or UNESCO, over 800 million learners from around the world have been affected due to the pandemic. 1 in 5 learners cannot attend school. 1 in 4 cannot attend higher education classes, and over 102 countries have ordered nationwide school closure, while 11 have implemented localized school closure. Now, the question is, how are we going to solve this problem? One of the solutions that we as young people can do is contribute by joining organizations that involve in education. We can also teach underprivileged students for free, because when we educate the children, we also educate the next leader of the world.
Thank you very much for the presentation.
Yeah,
Thank you. Okay, so moving on to the next presenter, which is Ulfa Mawada. Ulfa, are you here?
Yes, I'm here.
Right, Ulfa, you will have 1 minute also, starting from now.
안녕하세요. 저는 Ulfa. I came from Indonesia and being raised in the family which have the big interest with anything related with book and literacy. I truly believe that the more we give, the happier we feel. So that's why I think volunteering increases self-confidence as we could spread the positivities to one another, including me actually. I joined a local literacy community in my province in case of increasing literacy index through the read interest. I also started my own book parody to celebrate the World's Book Day on last April. So it's my own version of commitment and initiation to doing action related to SDGs value, especially the fourth point which mentioned about quality education. So that's all from me.
Time is up.
감사합니다.
Thank you very much for the in-time presentation, and we're moving on to the next presenter, which is Marina Celia Valentine. All right, Marina. Yes. Marina, you will have 1 minute starting from now.
Hai, saya Jerman Marina, 저는 인도네시아 사람입니다. Now I'm talking about the first quality education. For me, before we talk about the education, for me the most important thing I can say volunteer is when we can have a dedication for others, but we never get appreciated. I mean, we wanna do something for others, we never see what I can say, what I will get if we can do that. So for me, the most important thing is volunteer is we will feel happy when we impactful or useful for others. And then for me now, I'm decided to focus about building Indonesian education. And then now I'm building my own social community focus about education. That is not for just children, but this is education for a young person and an old person. And for me now, I'm focused about my scholarship. Now I'm getting international scholarship in many universities. For example, Harvard and
Time is up. Thank you very much for the great presentation. And we're moving on to the next presenter, which is Lucia Permata Dewi Setiadi. Lucia, are you here?
Yes, I'm here.
Lucia, you will have also 1 minute starting from now.
안녕하십니까, 루시아 라고 합니다. 인도네시아에서 왔습니다. For me, volunteering is not just doing something for nothing, but volunteering means doing something from the bottom of our hearts and self-awareness to shape a better future. And volunteering means forming a more innovative and creative mindset for a better future. There are many things we can do to become a great volunteer, starting from the small things that we always run in our daily activities that will change the whole world. Remember that you are precious and important, so keep your chin up and never give up fighting for the better future. And as a young generation that responding to this, we need to raise more organization and move on for stabilizing this life with SDG. Effort from the community are needed so we can reduce and eliminate patriarchal culture in our life. Everyone needs to be active in participating in all the activities we will do. Respecting each other and also the nature is all starting from yourself, from 1 to 1,000 and 1,000 to billions. Together with this SDG, SDG와 함께 같이 걷기해서 걷자. 감사합니다. 루시아입니다.
Thank you very much for the in-time presentation. It was really good. So moving on to the next presenter, we're gonna call Wahyu Adi Putra. Wahyu Adi Putra, are you here? Wahyu Adi Putra. All right, one last call. Wahyu Adi Putra. All right, seems like Wahyu's not here yet. And then moving on to the next one, which is Angelica Ardi.
I'm here.
All right, Angelica, you will have 1 minute starting from now.
안녕하십니까? Jerman Angelica Ati. Indonesia에서 왔습니다. 반갑습니다. Volunteering is giving back to the community. It is about me giving my extra energy, but it is also about receiving a lot of energy. Talking about climate change, why do we have to tackle this one? Because we are going to be on the planet where this thing actually happens. What do I care about this one? To achieve SDG goals number 13, climate action. This week, I'm going to join Green Action, which is multiple restoration organized by students. Let's start thinking about the way you want to be a part of the planet. I do feel optimistic about what we can achieve in the future. Together we can, because we are the leaders. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the in-time presentation. It was really good. And moving on to the next presenter, Halimatus Saada. Halimatus Saada. Halimatus Saada. All right, one last call. Halimatus Saada. Right, seems like Halimatus is not here yet. And moving on to the next presenter, I'm going to call Fira Nur Aziza. Fira Nur Aziza. All right, one last call. Fira Nur Aziza. All right, Fira is also not here. We have Zulfahmi Sukma.
Yes, I am here.
All right, Zulfahmi, you will have 1 minute for the presentation starting from now.
오케이, 안녕하세요. 운전의 학교 내린 학생을 zulfahmi sukma이라고 합니다. 인도네시아에서 borneo는 pontianak에서 왔습니다. 만나서 반갑습니다, 여러분. It seemed to me that volunteers are not the only ones who join volunteers, but also how we actually contribute in it. We not only take our time, but also donate our strength, thought, and also money, which means we give our word, soul, and body. Then how was our commitment and invitation to be a volunteer? Our earnest contribute to becoming an active in my university. So how about SDGs? I chose SDG number 15. My idea so far SDGs number 15 is to create a campaign about forest and environment globally to raise awareness of the importance of preserving forest and environment.
Time is up. Thank you so much for the presentation, Zulfahmi. And we're going to call the next presenter, Priyaskani Rampadito. Priyaskani Rampadito.
Hi.
All right, Priyaskani will have also 1 minute starting from now.
안녕하십니까. 여러분, 감사드립니다. 저는 인도네시아에서 옵니다. We have 8 years left to 2030. We have to stop just conveying ideas and concepts. It's time for us to take a real action. And for me, SDG point 17, Partnership for the Goals, is the point that I commit the most to take a real action. At the end of January next year, I will go to Senegal as a United Nations Youth Volunteer under UNICEF if my application is accepted. I will become a youth and innovation specialist where we will support the development, implementation, and monitoring of engagement and communication strategies with adolescents and young people, the management of partnerships, and the creation of content, particularly on the new themes of innovation. For me, volunteering is a way of helping others, a way to take a real action, a way to make the world a better place. I hope my skills can inspire all of you to do the same. Terima kasih, kamsahamnida, mercy, and thank you.
Thank you so much for the in-time presentation, Priyaskani. And we're going to call Atika Ashura Binti Omar.
Yeah, I'm here.
Right, Atika, you will also have 1 minute starting from now.
안녕하세요. 저는 아티카입니다. 말레이시아에서 왔습니다. 반갑습니다. To me, volunteering is an action where you are willing to commit your time and energy to serve the community without having any return. And you are sincere to help the society where you could feel the satisfaction for doing it. There are many areas that we can do to contribute to the world which relates to SDG. And the easiest way to start off is by applying it in our daily life. In Malaysia, we need to pay for a plastic bag. So for me personally, I would bring my own reusable bag every time I went for a shop because this is the simplest way that not only me, but all of us can do to reduce the usage of plastic bags. And this also aligns with the SDG 12, which is to reduce the production and consumptions of plastics. That's all from me. Thank you. 감사합니다.
Thank you very much for the in-time presentation, Atika. That was really good. And we're going to call Nagar Sadiq Said.
Yes.
Nagar. All right, Nagar, you will also have 1 minute starting from now.
안녕하세요. 저는 니갈입니다. 니갈이에요. 저는 아zerbaijan에서 와서 I am to me, volunteering is reach out to your community without any condition. I am very concerned about ongoing gender inequality subject in many countries. Unfortunately, as UN reports that domestic violence against women has increased by 30% since the lockdown. And in 63 countries, legal marriage age is lower for women. My aim is to raise awareness of this problem. To reach this aim of mine, I plan to write articles about feminism and women's rights in youth-led project called Le Journal des Jeunes. Those articles will cover rights in education, marriage, with free will, and of women with comprehensive research. Also, me and our team will invite one of the main women rights activists to interview and talk about women's rights in the future. In the end, I encourage all of my peers to support
Time is up.
ongoing actions.
Thank you so much, Nagar, for the presentation. That was good. And we're going to call Abigail Saviana Albert Chia.
Hi, yeah, I'm here.
All right, Abigail, you will have 1 minute starting from now.
Right, so 안녕하세요. 제 이름은 Abigail이에요. Malaysia so 왔어요. 반가워요. So for me, volunteering is the act of giving back to the community. I am choosing SDG 14 Life Below Water, which I believe that plastic pollution and marine ecosystem have been an issue where the world is battling against. The need for sustainable fishing, the role of big organization, and well awareness is crucial in the state. And how do I respond to this? Is through I am working toward youth empowerment, where I believe that youth is an agent of change, the main feature of the asset, and also is the biggest contributor to the SDG values. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for the galvanizing presentation, Zaviana. And we're going to call Anissa Irene
Yes.
Shokina. Yes. Anissa, you will also have 1 minute starting from now.
Okay. 안녕하십니까? 저는 이ren입니다. 저는 인도네시아에서 왔습니다. I would like to state my opinion regarding volunteer. Volunteering for me is someone who contributes their time, effort, and talent to a need, cause, or mission without financial gain. Volunteering is all about you being able to contribute some of your own time to help people in our communities. My idea to make sustainable education in 5.0 era is to make fundamental structural changes supported by technology. The technology revolution in education can no longer be captured simply by looking at computers in classroom. My commitment and initiation for SDG 12, responsible consumption and production, is by creating a personal project to tackle food waste problem by engaging local community to manage their own food waste with composting. I believe that as a society, we can contribute by changing the smallest things that can affect the outcome of the future. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the in-time presentation, Anissa. And we're going to call Naila Alexia Agreda.
Hi,
Naila,
am I audible?
yes, you're audible. Naila, yeah, you will have 1 minute starting from now.
안녕하십니까? 저는 인도네시아에서 나일라 알렉세그리다입니다. In the class, one teacher teaching the same way to all of the students, and they have to get perfect scores in every subject. However, each one of them has different strength, different talents, different way of learning, and you teach them in the same way? No wonder so many students have shortchanged. Students may only 20% of the world population, but we are 100% future. Education play a role in the implementation of SDGs, so I'll present the Stable Education 5.0, which will use our local environment and learning so we can develop knowledge, skills, and values to create a sustainable world based on every person's strength. By now, we all know the power of education. As volunteer chief SDG 4, I define volunteer as a condition of time, effort, and talent to need. Volunteering is all about you being able to contribute to help people in the communities. This is my commitment and initiation. Volunteering to raise high-quality education to enable us to live a successful life. Together, we youth can do it. Kamsahamnida. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for the energetic presentation, Naila. And we're going to call Binar Cahyo Pangestu. Binar Cahyo Pangestu. Binar Cahyo Pangestu. One last call, Binar Cahyo Pangestu. All right, seems like Binar is not here yet. Then we're going to call Nan Mozan U. Nan Mozan U. Nan. Right, one last call, Nan Mozan U. I will pronounce it correct. All right, seems like Nan is not here yet. And we're going to call Venusia Sharon Wijaya. Venusia Sharon Wijaya. Venusia Sharon Wijaya. Right, one last call. Venusia Sharon Wijaya. Okay. Next, we're gonna call Aziza Lutfi Hanifa. Aziza Lutfi Hanifa.
Yes, I'm here, sir.
All right, Aziza, you will have 1 minute starting from now.
Thank you. 안녕하세요. 아지자입니다. 인도네시아에서 왔습니다. Talking about volunteer, for me, volunteer is someone who voluntarily does to do something that has an impact without paid for their efforts and does it from the bottom of the heart. And I'm truly grateful to every youth who has dedicated themselves to become volunteer this day. As a youth, we still have a long way to go. We still have a lot of dreams to achieve. The fact that the threat of climate change assumes critical proportion. If the current generation fails to deal with this threat boldly and swiftly, then we will be risking our future life in irreparable catastrophe. Let's accept this harsh reality. Saying this fact, I committed to continuing maintain climate stability because I aware that our life still going on and I don't want to regret it. And this will be difficult. We do it only by our own self. Therefore, I will continue to raise up my voice and I invite all of you to make change together. Thank you. That's all from me.
Thank you for the
안녕하세요.
presentation, Aziza. And next, we're gonna call, I hope I'm reading it correct, Hanin Piaet Nue Tant.
Yes, I'm here. Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible, Hanin. So you will have 1 minute starting from now.
안녕하십니까 여러분. 제 이름은 나이피네탄이라고 합니다. 저는 미얀마 사람이에요. 저는 고등학생이에요. I'm a high schooler who is willing to have my country, Myanmar, to be a well-developed one. As a high schooler, I would like to start changing for SDG goal 4, which is quality education. Compared to other countries, our country still has a lot of children and adolescents who are not able to attend school due to various problems. The root cause for that is poverty. The ones who can attend school has to face a lot of problems too. Today, Myanmar education lags far behind in terms of and the educational system here is too low. The country is now choosing new courses due to that, so I hope the progress finish as soon as possible. Actually, for me, volunteering is helping. So I'm helping as much as I can in donating books and money to the kids who can't attend school. And I volunteer in some charity too.
Time is up. Thank you so much, Hanin, for the great presentation. And we're gonna call, I hope I'm spelling it right, Chinwar Thao. Chinwar Thao. Chinwar Thao. Chinwar Thao. Right, one last call, Chinwar Thao. Okay, seems like Miss Tao is not here yet. And we're gonna call Hasna Basira binti Mazalan.
Hi, am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Okay.
Okay, you will have 1 minute starting from now.
안녕하십니까. 저는 하스나입니다. 저는 브루나이에서 왔습니다. 반갑습니다. To start off this speech, my definition of volunteering would be to do my best in all things that I do in order to passionately empower and help others while trying to achieve the SDG goals. I believe there are 3 kinds of people in this world. People who make things happen, people who watches things being done, and people who wonder what happened. As youth, we want to inspire each other to be the people who make things happen, to be the change maker of today and tomorrow. Personally, SDG goal number 1 on zero poverty is close to my heart. Therefore, I am very much interested in making a social enterprise in the near future and currently interning for one that aims to alleviate poverty through education for youth in ASEAN. Additionally, I believe and committed to joining other nonprofit organizations, conducting campaigns, doing competition and conferences that aims to discuss and achieve the SDG value. I believe we youths can achieve the SDG goals together. However, we must take action now. We, the youths, must believe we are the change makers of today and tomorrow.
Thank you so much, Hasna, for a great presentation. And we're gonna call Anissa Devi Octaviani. Anissa Devi Octaviani. Anissa Devi Octaviani. Right, one last call. Anissa Devi Octaviani. Right, seems like Anissa is not here. And then we're gonna call Mary Ramadani. Mary Ramdani. Mary Ramdani. All right. So we're gonna call, the next one is Mutia Diva Hakim. Mutia Diva Hakim. All right, one last call. Mutia Diva Hakim. All right, moving on to the next one. We're going to call Crizel Q Joya. Crizel Q Joya. Crizel Joya. All right. Next, we have Hasna Nurwina Shifa.
Hi, am I audible?
Yes, you're audible and clear. All right, you'll have
Okay.
1 minute starting from now, Hasna.
안녕하십니까? 제 이름은 하스나입니다. 저는 인도네시아에서 왔습니다. This need to be complemented by participatory mechanism that facilitate people's engagement and capacity to benefit other people and the planet. Volunteer is a powerful backbone to encourage more people to engage in developmental activities and raising awareness to SDGs and facilitate changes in mindset by inspiring others. In Indonesia, SDGs Point 3 is a major challenges that we should improve time to time. Our national averages hide that many are being left behind. Me, as the future doctor, I have to play a role to make a sustainable health facilities and an easy access to every people in every sector to address inequalities and building a good health for all. I will contribute more to SDGs since soon I have a big role to influence people to make a better future for you, me, and all of us. Thank you. 감사합니다.
Thank you so much for the great presentation, Hasna. And we're going to call Johan Dani We. Johan Dani We. Johan Dani W. Right. One last call, Johan. Then we're going to call Mila Andini. Mila Andini, are you here? Right. One last call, Mila Andini. All right, moving on to the next presenter, we're going to have M. Rafli Alam Shahratu.
Yes, I'm here.
All right, Rafli, you will have 1 minute starting from now.
All right, thank you. 안녕하세요. 저는 Rafli Alam Shahratu입니다. 저는 인도네시아에서 왔습니다. 반갑습니다, 여러분들. And yes, I was aware of how important about education for our next young generation will take place and take role in this war as an front leaders in this chaotic situation. With a good input in education will comes a good outcome for our young generation. And as we can see in some places, like in rural places, they didn't have a good education yet, and this happened because of lack of resources and access in rural area, but a good education. And I would like to give an idea about solving this problem by solving poverty by equal education. And this is what's like
Roughly, thank you so much for the presentation. That was great. And moving on to the next presenter, we're gonna have Angelica Anjanet Putri Kreina. Angelica Anjanet Putri Kreina. One last call, Angelica Anjanet Putri Kreina. All right, so we have Jorhana binti Abdul Halim.
Here, I'm here.
Right. Yeah, Jorhana, you will have 1 minute starting from now.
안녕하세요. 저는 조하나 binti Abdul Halim입니다. 저는 브루네이에서 왔습니다. 반갑습니다. First of all, volunteering to me is an act of selflessness when an individual gives a helping hand to people in need and give back to the community on their own will without any incentives. One of the SDG issues I'm interested in is related to poverty. I believe to eradicate poverty out of the many ways, one of it would be to educate the population and to provide quality education. There should be equal rights and access to quality education for all children worldwide. This will provide many benefits to the country and also help the future generation to form a stable future. One of the ways I've contributed to the SDGs is by joining youth forums and workshops relating to SDGs to know more about it and help to raise awareness among my community. That's all.
Time is up. Thank you so much for the in-time presentation, Jorhana. And now we're going to call Nuri Fadlilatin. Nuri Fadlilatin. Nuri Fadli Latin. Right, one that's called Nuri Fadli Latin. All right, we're moving on to the next presenter. We're gonna have Claudia Renkung. Claudia Renkung. Claudia Renkung. All right. Next presenter, we're gonna have Tasha Alia Setiorini.
Yes, I'm here.
All right, Tasha, you will have 1 minute starting from now.
네, 안녕하세요. 제 이름은 다시아요. 저는 인도네시아 사람이에요. To me, volunteering is to be helpful for the societies. Willingness and dedication are two essential things for anyone who would like to volunteer. The Universal Declaration of Human Rights affirms that education is a fundamental human right for everyone. But why education? Education is the most powerful tools to ensure the development of a fully rounded human being. As youth and also as student, but also then as a nation's leader or the agent of change, is our job to taking part in actualizing one of global goal SDGs number 4, quality education. By spreading awareness about the importance of quality education, providing teaching services or donation for those people in need, especially in remote areas, or building up a digital platform where everyone can access free classes. Those are some examples of effort that we can do in order to make better future for our world. Last but not least, I'm going to conclude my speech with a quote by Malala, which is, "Let's pick up our books and our pens. They are most powerful weapons."
Thank you so much, Tasha, for the presentation. Okay. So we're gonna have Sylvia Putri Ayuwardani for the next presenter. Sylvia. All right, Sylvia, you will have 1 minute starting from them, Sylvia. Yes.
안녕하십니까. 제 이름은 소피아 푸트리입니다. 인도네시아에서 왔습니다. 반갑습니다. For me, volunteer is a form of individual participation in social activity based on personal desire. As I know about SDGs, I am interested in discussing food in 17 SDGs. My main purpose in discussing this is due to the high rate of malnutrition, low agricultural productivity and income of farmers, and the lack of implementation of sustainable food production system. My goal to overcome and realize this problem is to end hunger, achieve food security, improve nutrition, and promote sustainable agricultural by creating foundations such as donation to citizens, making programs so that people want to participate in work to reduce inequality and poverty among residents holding check-free mobile health service and several areas.
Sylvia, thank you so much for the presentation. And we're gonna have Fina Titalia for the next. Fina Titalia.
Okay.
Right.
Yep. 안녕하십니까. 제 이름은 피나입니다. 저는 인도네시아에서 왔습니다. 반갑습니다. So in my side, volunteering is something that can be achieved by someone who has been through a certain phase. It's not easy for somebody to show their empathy, given their energy, times, and so on, so that when somebody starts to take the action, they want to achieve something directed to moral or spiritual apart from material reward. And it requires a commitment and put aside any goal and, doing everything to the fullest and all out for making huge changes. And personally, for me, as a youth, I never set a limit to core standards or become pleasant. I'm my worst critic and set a high standard for myself. And as yet, who has an important role as the agent of SDG, and also by being a women worker, I think it's such a good moment for me to prepare myself first to become a young woman who is reliable, has critical thinking, and to be resilient and so on. And then becoming agents of freaking of information as well as peace by stopping spreading hoax news and being able to influence or spread positivity. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for the entire presentation, Fina. And now we're gonna call
Okay.
Ratu Krishna Putri.
Yes, I'm here.
All right, Ratu, you will have 1 minute starting from now.
Okay, thank you. 안녕하세요. 저는 tabitna입니다. I'm from Indonesia. Volunteering for me is to give time, effort, and ability without being asked to help someone who might need help without expecting payment. We can start from the nearest environment, such as family, friends, with share knowledge and help them to acquire the skills needed to promote sustainable development. Why we need to do volunteer for education? Because education is a powerful tool for building community resilience. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the presentation, Ratu. And now we're gonna have Fifi Hardianti for the next presenter. Fifi Hardianti. Fifi Hardianti, are you here? right, seems like Fifi's not here. So we're gonna have Nur Farzia binti Ahmad Daud. We're gonna call Nur Farizah binti Ahmad Daud. Nur Farizah, are you here? One last call, Nur Farizah. All right, next we have Hada Mutiara Zahra Safira.
Yes.
All right, Hada, you will have 1 minute starting from now.
Okay, thank you. 안녕하십니까. 제 이름은 하다입니다. 저는 인도네시아에서 왔습니다. 반갑습니다. First, I thank you for giving me chance to speak. We know that volunteer is an extraordinary opportunity we can have as youth, as the agent of changes to help many people all around the world or even change the world to be a better place. There are many ways we can help. Even the small moves like socializing something can be counted as voluntary. In this change, I like to address climate issues. What got us into this mess is thinking of the environment as something separate from ourselves. Therefore, we need to make people keep in their mind that we and the nature is just like a coin with two sides. We are one and cannot be separated. So try to imagine what would be if people have that kind of sense of belonging. There's a piece of me in that land and a piece of that land in me. I believe they will have the nature only for good use as what God wants us to do when He provides us with many things in nature, and people can get a prosperity life. Last but not least, I believe together we can pursue all the sustainable goals, not only for climate issues. And yeah, let's make it happen. I believe in God's power. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the presentation, Hada. And we're gonna call Dian Shafa Maulida Mosha.
Yes, sir. Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible, Dian. You will have 1 minute starting from now.
안녕하십니까. 제 이름은 딘샤파입니다. 저는 인도네시아에서 왔습니다. To begin my speech, I'm going to give you some shocking yet miserable facts, which are worldwide. Only 2 in 3 people have access to safe drinking water. This fact makes me believe that not only me, but all of us need to stand for goal number 6, clean water and sanitation. But how do we achieve the goal? In my opinion, volunteering is one of the answers. Volunteering for me is an activity where it takes our initiative and commitment to take action and support the program that can change the world to be a better place by helping the people in it. We might think that the program cannot change the world for instant and comprehensive, but trust the process. It only needs a small action to make a big difference. On the other hand, we can also achieve the goal by starting with ourselves. First, we can try to save water by reducing water consumption. Second, we can promote good hygiene habits through education. Third, we can implement rainwater harvesting. And there are a lot of ways that you can do to achieve this goal. So what are you waiting for? Act now and be the world changer. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dian, for the presentation. It was really good. And we're gonna call Ruth Alicia Alexander.
Yes. Can I be heard? Okay.
Yes, Ruth, you will have 1 minute starting from now.
안녕하세요. 제 이름은 Ruth입니다. 말레이시아에서 왔습니다. First of all, the SDG of my choice is SDG 4, which is quality education. In SDG 4, it aims to ensure that everyone would receive a high quality education that is inclusive and unbiased, as well as lifelong learning opportunities that are available to all. For the past few years of volunteering, I realized that volunteering is more than making other people happy by just helping them. It is the connection with other volunteers and the community I help with, the soft skills and happiness I receive just by interacting, helping people. In addition, I hope to empower and mobilize the youth, because I believe youth like us could change the future if we have the willpower, and if we have the determination to teach children from such a young age, we can help them to overcome problems to their lives, especially poverty, which could be related to SDG 1. Finally, I commit to spread awareness of the existence of SDG, especially SDG 4. I wish to initiate building schools in the rural areas of my country to make education accessible to everyone. That is all from me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ruth, for the great presentation. And now we're going to call Novia Maharani Yuliana Dewi Putrisari.
Oh, hello.
All right, Novia, you will have 1 minute starting from now.
Okay, thank you. 네, 안녕하세요. 제 이름은 너비아입니다. 저는 인도네시아에서 왔습니다. Hello, my name is Novia. I came from Indonesia. To make the world a better place, well-educated citizen is needed, so I picked quality education out of 17 SDGs goals. The first and foremost aspect of Education 5.0 is to bring education close to reality. The education system should be designed in a way that it is help solving majority of societal and national problems with a better understanding of the environment. Pursuing the Education 5.0, online learning are already spread all over the world, but it's not very well known by those who live in a rural. My idea is promoting the availability of online learning and bring it closer to them with the understanding of their needs in education, so they can contribute in solving societal and national problems with the knowledge they have. About volunteering, in my personal opinion, is an action to fulfill my duty as a human being and make the world a better place for us to live in. And my commitment to do this action is do it early, and you'll need the result shortly. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the great presentation, Novia. And now we're going to call Eka Wahyu Puspitasari.
Yes.
All right, Eka, you will have 1 minute starting from now.
Okay. 안녕하세요. 내 이름은 에카입니다. 나는 인도네시아 왔습니다. Thank you very much for the honorable delegates and audience for the time. For me, volunteer is when we are committing to give our time and energy freely for society, and anyone can still be volunteer. Not an assumption that the problem of climate change exists in my country. Indonesia is the one of country threatened by increasing temperature and sea levels. It is predicted that in the next year, this will get worse and have a significant impact on the younger generation. Based on this information, how youth are able to build small habits following by society that can change the problem of climate change and build a joint project of action using technology and social media in this pandemic. However, it should be also noted that today's youth need to be motivated to make a big contribution. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you so much, Eka, for the great presentation. And we're going to call Vanessa Elizar. Vanessa Elizar.
here.
All right, Vanessa, you will have 1 minute starting from now.
안녕하세요. 제 이름은 바네사예요. 인도네시아에서 왔어요. 반가워요. Climate change has been a prolonged issue for the world. As a form of tension, countries have taken part in the Paris Agreement to deal with climate change. Recently, COP26 is held, but China and Russia, as the world's biggest emitters, didn't even attend this event. So here I would like to highlight that the biggest problem is about commitment and conscience. Talking about volunteer itself, it's all about giving back to the community. Ladies and gentlemen, to create a better world is to start from ourselves, but to start, we first need commitment and conscience. Thus, the program that I would like to propose is about working together with government to open schools to implement green days, be it through seminars, outdoor activities, workshops, and other, and also by utilizing technologies in order to increase the conscience and commitment of younger generations. I believe that through education, proper education about environmental issue, we could slowly change our life habits together properly. To end my speech, together we can. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the great presentation, Vanessa. And now we're going to call Wahyu Yosi Prastawa Adi. Wahyu Yosi Prastawa Adi. All right, one last call. Wahyu Yosi Prastawa Adi. Okay, seems like Wahyu's not here. So for the next, we're going to have Rizal Efesus Sitinjak.
Hello?
Yes, Rizal, you will have 1 minute starting from now.
Okay. 안녕하세요. 저는 리잘입니다. 저는 인도네시아에서 왔습니다. Volunteering is maturity and wisdom in action. It must have an impact of change and future prospect, can introduce people to participate in it and spread kindness. We are aware of importance of proper education. No matter what background you come from, gender, religion, education is most important. In accordance with the 4th goals of SDGs is the quality education. The people and the government must cooperate in matter. The government provide access, which we understand and apply them in love. So the quality education increase, and there is P plus A becomes key. It is teaching plus implementation becomes quality. My commitment and initiation is to keep moving while I'm still able to be a friend, to be a teacher, to be storyteller, to be family, to be human to another. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rizal, for the great presentation. And now we're going to have Huda Ahmed Al-Shalan. Huda Ahmed Al-Shalan. Huda Ahmed Al-Shalan. All right. Next, we have Margareta Ferlin Cristanto.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, Margareta, you will have 1 minute starting from now.
안녕하세요. 제 이름은 페르니예요. 저는 인도네시아에서 왔어요. In my opinion, volunteer is an activity by individual or group who voluntarily give their energy, thought, and time for a purpose that can help others. My commitment after joining this program is to improve more about my personal development skill, include leadership, learning culture, and public speaking, and to support any ideas to solve the social problems become a better impact for all of us. One of my initiation to face zero hunger can start from small things first, like starting to appreciate the existing food, not wasting food, managing a healthy diet, and especially sharing food to others is the main point. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the great presentation, Margareta. And now we're going to call Aulia Fitriani.
Yes.
All right, Aulia, you will have 1 minute starting from now.
안녕하십니까? 제 이름은 아울리아입니다. 저는 인도네시아에서 왔습니다. As a youth, we all know that volunteering means help or contribute to something which can be useful to everyone, group, community, company, or country. There are 17 SDGs value that has been campaigned for 2030. Therefore, for most of them that I really concerned about is partnership for the goals. My commitment for that value is on target 17.6 related to knowledge sharing and cooperation for access to science, technology, and innovation. Then for achieve that, I handled some projects in my office with other company by sharing knowledge of science, technology, and its innovation, which can be implemented in my projects and solve the problem. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the great presentation, Alia. And now we have Muhammad Nofal. Muhammad Nofal. Okay, one last call. Muhammad Nofal. Right, since Muhammad is
Sorry.
not. Yes, Muhammad Nofal, you will have 1 minute starting from now.
Okay. 안녕하세요. 저는 Muhammad Noval입니다. 저는 Indonesia SL 왔습니다. Education is the most powerful weapon you can use to change the world. This statement by Nelson Mandela has been inspiring me to be people of young generation who change the world in terms of inequality of education. I realized that education is the key to eliminating gender inequality, reducing poverty, as well as making great generations in the future. The definition of volunteering for me is actually about a fun and easy way to explore our passions and happiness for other people, as well as making the change of the world. Furthermore, to reduce and contribute my commitment for SDGs by 2030 in terms of inequality education, I was actively involved in several activities, especially to make the change in terms of inequality education, such as language community, the community that I found in 2018 to contribute not only for the sustainable development goals in 2030.
Thank you so much for the presentation, Muhammad Nofal. And we're going to call Hitomi Alexandra. Hitomi Alexandra? Yeah. Hitomi, you will have 1 minute starting from now.
안녕하세요. 저는 인도네시아에 사는 대학생 히토미입니다. Good afternoon to all distinguished future leaders. Delegate, what's come to your mind when you hear about the volunteer activities? Young people's sense of efficiency increase when they are connected to issues that matter, and key civic actors and institutions are encouraged to see young people as a valuable resource. Overcoming this requires access to opportunities for participation as individuals as well as organizations. Therefore, what we can do as young generation is to continue to have ambitions to put forward future leaders to raise awareness of global issues, exchange ideas, make a move to bring change to a better for our country, especially provide assistance to the community in order to obtain equal rights in any fields, starting with completing the rights they deserve. That's all from me. Thank you. 감사합니다.
Thank you so much, Hitomi, for the great presentation. And now we're going to call Igede Gilang Baskara. Igede Gilang Baskara. All right, one last call. Igede Gilang Baskara. Right, next we're gonna have Aisha Liana. Aisha Liana. Aisha Liana. All right, Aisha is not here too. So next we're gonna call Raden Ayu Ardia Pramesti. Raden Ayu Ardia Pramesti. Ayu Ardia Pramesti. All right. Next, we're going to call Delilah Mentari. Delilah Mentari.
네.
네. Delilah, you're going to have 1 minute starting from now.
네, 안녕하세요. 저는 델릴라 멘타리입니다. 인도네시아에서 왔습니다. 만나서 반갑습니다. For me, volunteer takes many shapes and forms. Volunteering means giving your time and abilities to aid others, usually a non-profit organization without the want of financial compensation. But to put it simply, volunteering is a service to your community. And for me, youth is playing important role in the SDGs movement. We as the youth will play a significant role in planning, executing an initiative towards the success of SDGs movement. The choice that we take today, the active engagement that we make will be an important for the future. And for the 10 years of maybe 15 years later in the future, to these young people will be the leaders. So we have to be people to become agent of sustainable development to ensure. For me, I would talk about the goals number 4, to ensure inclusive and equitability.
Thank you so much, Tele, for the great presentation. And now we're going to call Hairudin Yosufi. Hairudin Yosufi. All right, one last call. Hairudin Yosufi. All right, next we're going to have Yulia Fariza. Yulia Fariza. Yulia Fariza, one last call. All right, and moving on to number 60, Hanadira Sani Zahira.
I'm here.
Yeah, Hanadira, you will have 1 minute starting from now.
Okay, 안녕하십니까. 제 이름은 한디라입니다. 인도네시아에서 왔습니다. First of all, I want to apologize because my camera can turn on. Now I want to talk about life below water. To protect the ocean, we need to protect and restore ecosystem from the threats and pollution. By 2020, sustainable management protect marine and coastal ecosystem to avoid significant adverse impacts, including by strengthening their resilience and take action for their restoration in order to achieve healthy and productive ocean. And I really want volunteers to do pick up trash at sea. That's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Hanadira. And now I'm gonna give one more chance to for those who weren't able to do the presentation earlier. So I'm gonna recall Wahyu Adiputra. Wahyu Adiputra, are you here yet? Wahyu Adiputra. Final call, Wahyu Adiputra. All right. And then Halimatus Syaadah. Halimatus Syaadah. Final call, Halimatus Syaadah. All right. Final call for Fira Nur Aziza. Fira Nur Aziza. Okay. Final call for Binar Cahyo Pangestu. Binar Cahyo Pangestu. Okay. Final call for Nan Mozan U. Nan Mozan O. Okay. Final call for Venusia Sharon Wijaya. Venusia Sharon Wijaya. All right. Final call for Chinhuor Tao. Chinhuor Tao. All right. Final call for Anissa Debbie Octaviani. Okay. Final call for Mary Ramadhani. Mary Ramadhani. All right. Final call for Mutia Diva Hakim. Right. Final call for Gazelle Q Joya. All right. Final call for Joanne Danny W. All right. Final call for Mila Andini. Mila Andini. All right. Final call for Angelica Anjanette Putri Kreina. Right. Final call for Nuri Fatliliatin. Okay. Final call for Claudia Rankung. Claudia Rankung. All right. Final call for Fifi Hardianti. Final call also for Nur Fariza binti Ahmad Daud. Nur Fariza binti Ahmad Daud. All right. Final call for Wahyu Yosi Prastawa Adi. Okay. Final call for Huda Ahmed Al Shalan. Huda Ahmed Al Shalan. All right. Final call for Igede Gilang Baskara. Igede Gilang Baskara. All right. Final call for Aisha Liena. Final call for R. Ayu Ardia Pramesti. Ayu Ardia Pramesti.
Hello. 안녕하세요.
Yes, Ayu, you will have 1 minute.
Okay.
Starting from
First
now.
of all, I'm sorry that I cannot show my camera because I'm working. Thank you so much for this great opportunity. 안녕하세요. 제 이름은 Ardia입니다. Bali, Indonesia에서 반가워요. So I'm really grateful that I can join SDGs program and I'm here. I want to say I like this sentence. Education is an opportunity. Education is not a problem. So for me, this opportunity will be happen with the volunteers because without volunteers, any opportunity will never happen. And I hope for all the youth, our generation can get fair education. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ayu, for the presentation. And we're gonna call last call, final, for Hairudin Yosufi. Hairudin Yosufi. All right, and final call for Yulia Fariza. Yulia Fariza. Right, it seems like everybody has presented. So yeah, thank you so much for the great presentation. To someone,
I'm sorry, can I?
Sure, Zara.
Yes.
Have you presented yet, or you?
Yes. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay. 안녕하세요. 저는 아자라입니다. Do you can hear?
Yeah, sure. You're
저는
audible.
아자라입니다. 저는 인도네시아 왔어요. 반갑습니다. 네, volunteering for me is the one of the activity ideas for the elderly that brings the most personal satisfaction. And volunteering is timing willingly given for the common good and without financial gain. So I interested to choose the 12 SDGs goal, which is responsible consumption and production, which is example for the activity being thrift shopping. This reduces the need for manufacturing the ones and prevents pollution, save up on energy as well as finite resources. Thrift shopping is essential, keeps clothes and their components in circulation for the longer time. So sustainable fashion we can do to shop less, shop sustainable, and use what is shop
Time is
for
up,
a long time.
Zara.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for the presentation. And I'm afraid that you might not be on the list for this room, so you can probably check one more time to the committee to make sure like which room you were in. Yeah, but thank you for the presentation, and we still have the recording, so we can always use this one for the evaluation. Thank you so much anyway. So yeah, you guys are doing great for the presentation, and I was actually surprised by how fluent your Korean was. Like, I wasn't expecting that, like, some of you guys are really, really good at Korean pronunciation, as well as I'm assuming that's probably some of you guys also really good at Korean. So yeah, thanks for the presentation. And before I end the session, do you guys have any questions regarding to the presentation, or probably anything about the conference? Right, if nobody wants to ask questions, then it means that this is the end of the session. Thank you so much, and good luck for the next agenda. Goodbye.
Thank you so much, Ahmad. Bye. Have a good day.
Thank you.
감사합니다.
Yeah.
Thank you. Sorry, I have.
감사합니다.